Hi there. One of the questions that my beginners ask most of the time is, what on earth is a fat quarter? What size is that? What can it be used for? So let me tell you. So a fat quarter, when you buy them commercially, so if you go into any quilt shop, you will find bundles of fat quarters all beautifully packaged up with a nice ribbon for you. And you'll get a little pile all folded neatly like that. Now, when you open those up and they're cut commercially from the manufacturers, you will find that they are 18 by 20 inches. So that is the official size of an official fat quarter. If you want it in metric, that is 51 centimetres by 46 centimetres. So that's the commercial fat quarter. However, when you go into a quilt shop and you ask them to cut you a fat quarter, you get a slightly different size and it's a bit better value for money as well. So let me explain. So when you buy quilting fabric, you will buy it off the bolt like this, okay? And your standard bolt is a 42-inch wide fabric, which is folded double onto the bolt. So that's just standard. If you go into your quilt shop and you ask for a quarter of a metre or 25 centimetres of fabric, they will cut it off the bolt, so you end up with a strip like that. Okay, so you've got the fold at the top that you'll find on the bolt, and it is 25 centimetres across the width that they cut, and that is called a long quarter. So if you go into a quilt shop and ask for a long quarter, that's what you'll get. Perfect if you need to do some strip piecing or cutting strips from your fabric. All right, so that's a long quarter. But with a fat quarter is square. So I think that's where the term fat comes from. It is a square shape of fabric. Can you see that in the middle of the screen there? So when the quilt shop cuts that square piece of fabric, what they do is they open up the bolt and they cut half a metre, so 50 centimetres. They'll cut a 50 centimetre piece. They'll open it up, they'll turn it around and they'll cut through the middle. So you get a square that looks exactly like this. Now, the good news for you is that you get a little bit more for your money for that fat quarter, just because of the way that it's cut. If a quilt shop owner tried to cut to that 18 by 20 inches, or the 46 by 50 centimetres, 51 centimetres, they're going to be an awful lot of wastage for the poor quilt owner. So cutting it in that way gives you just a little bit more fabric. So the size that you'll get from your quilt shop owner is 20 by 22 inches, or in metric terms, 50 centimetres by 55 centimetres. So it just depends on how you're going to buy your fat quarter. Now, just a little word from the wise on this one. If you are seeing a fabric for the first time and you think, oh my goodness, that's so amazing, I love it, I want some of that, I'm just going to buy some fat quarters, you'll probably find that those fat quarters are not very useful sizes to have in your stash, because when you go on to make a quilt, or maybe you want to make a bag or something like that, there just won't be enough fabric in the dimensions that you want. This is just a personal experience that I've discovered over the years. So if I'm seeing fabric that I love, I tend to buy it in yardage. So I'll buy a metre or 2 metres, and then I can stash that away and I know that I'll have enough for a project. But fat quarters, fantastic when you've got a bit of confidence and you know that you're going to make smaller pieces, smaller project pieces, or you're going to only use a little bit in your quilt or your projects that you're making. So that's where fat quarters come into their own. So I hope that has helped you just understand what a quilting fat quarter is. If you've got any questions at all, please pop them in the comments below and I'll be more than happy to answer for them. Okay, I will see you next time in the next video. Bye for now.